Hello, I'm Laura, one of the quality managers at the Money and Pensions Service, and in this video I'm going to be talking you through how the standards in 4H apply for debt advice services. The standards in 4H are about ensuring that throughout the course of the interaction with the consumer, but outside of the options being provided, that the information and/or advice is accurate, assessed under 4H1, sufficient, assessed under 4H2, and/or relevant, assessed under 4H3. Standard 4H1 is assessing if the information or advice that is not related to debt options is accurate and up to date based on known facts. This could include emergencies, safe banking, consequences of non-payment, the next steps in the debt collection process, including what actions creditors can take, as well as what actions consumers can take, but this is not an exhaustive list. Fees, charges, eligibility thresholds, criteria, legislation and regulations can change over time, and delivery partners are expected to ensure their information and advice is accurate and up to date at the time of being provided to consumers. Where inaccurate information or advice is provided, this will result in non-compliance with this standard, regardless of its impact to the consumer. To be clear, this standard is not assessing the accuracy of the financial statement, which is covered in 4G, the case recording, covered in 4F, or the options advice, covered in 4I. Standard 4H2 is assessing if sufficient information or advice outside of options has been provided. Sufficient is defined as the provision of enough information for the consumer to understand the implications, make a decision, and take action. Again, when referring to advice outside of options, this could include emergencies, safe banking, consequences of non-payment, or the next steps in the debt collection process. For advice to be considered as provided, the consumer must be actively informed, or where fact sheets and/or links are being referenced, the consumer must be signposted to the relevant parts. Generic material that contains information not discussed or referenced during the interaction would not be considered as being provided for the purpose of this standard. It is expected that the advice needed to drive informed decisions is presented to the consumer up front. Where a consumer needs to click through a chain of multiple web links or read through several sections of a fact sheet to access the advice, this would not be viewed as being drawn to the consumer's attention, and as such would not meet the requirements of this standard. Where advice has not been provided, this may also impact on standard 4J2. For example, where a consumer should have been provided with advice on safe banking, but this has been missed, and as a result the consumer has not then been signposted to a list of safe bank account providers, this would result in 4H2 and 4J2 being not met. Standard 4H3 is assessing if relevant information and/or advice has been provided. Relevant refers to the information or advice being directly related and applicable to the consumer's issues. It is expected that consumers are provided with tailored information and/or advice as necessary to their situation. Where an advisor has provided tailored advice, then generic information such as fact sheets can be used as a supplement. Where tailored advice has not been directly provided and supporting materials are being used, it is expected that the consumer's attention has been drawn to the specific sections and what information does or does not apply to their circumstances. I hope this video has helped to give clarity on the minimum expectations for Standard 4H. For more information, please go to the Standards page on the MaPS website.